now we come to, in some respects, the main event for this month's Watching Brief.
White on black banner headline.
It's as though you pray to the Muppet gods, and every now and then they will send you something that's just glorious in its Muppetry. It's something that's so astonishingly epic in its ridiculous implementation and its all-round astonishingness that all you can do is thank the Muppetry gods and roll with it. And
it's one of those occasions when the word omnishambles is inadequate.
Yes.
There's a certain phrase which involves the word cluster and then a second word beginning with F, and this is a cluster word beginning with F of intergalactic proportions.
And well, it all revolves around a tiny little treasure chest.
And a chocolate frog.
And a chocolate frog called Freddo. Now, Freddo, for many years, here in the UK at least, has been a little chocolate frog that Cadbury's have put out. Arguably the inspiration for the chocolate frog in Harry Potter, actually. Possibly, who knows. But the point is, though, he's a national icon. But there was been a campaign by Cadbury's, owned by Kraft, an American food company now, to introduce us to Freddo and his friends. There's a pig, for example. That's one of his friends I've seen. And these friends were coming in these little packages. In the top of the box was the friend. In the bottom, some chocolate coins. And all you had to do was open up the treasure chest and find the treasure inside.
And all the kids had to do was persuade their mums that they wanted Freddo treasure chests and not Kinder eggs, because there's marked similarity between the.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. Just so you could.
So
say
basically, it's a new way of marketing chocolate frogs to steal market share.
Yeah, and exactly. They're encroaching on the Kinder market. But this caused an archaeological uproar, and it's all because of the suggestion that accompanied these treasure chests, that people out there, the public, might want to go and find their own treasure out there in the landscape. And this was highlighted by a wonderful archaeologist. Her name escapes me for the moment.
Dr. Eastling Tierney.
That's it, yes. She's a fantastic archaeologist, and hopefully we're going to be...
Based in Bristol.
Indeed, based in Bristol. Hopefully we're going to be filming an interview with her in the not-too-distant future all about this. But she highlighted just how stupid some of this stuff was, because it was, as The Guardian puts it here, advocating looting. There's one quote here that from this campaign: "Grab your metal detector and go hunting for Roman riches." And there were some sites that were highlighted as well. Now, some of these sites, I believe, were actually sites where it is illegal to go looking for treasure.
This is the full gloriousness of the ineptitude of this. Mm-hmm. Because not only did they put on their website something that was absolutely archaeologically and in conservation terms unethical, mm-hmm. which people go off across the countryside and try and dig up your own treasure. No mention of getting the permission of the landowner. No mention of the Treasures Act.
No.
Whatever. They actually pointed up two sites in particular. One in Fermanagh in the north of Ireland, and one at Mourne Fort in the south of Ireland, where metal detecting is illegal.
Yeah. It's again, you how because the reason why I mentioned that Cadbury's is now owned by an American food company, Kraft, mm-hmm. is to say that maybe there might have been some disconnect, legally speaking, or in terms of cultural sensitivities, and that maybe there was someone over there who was putting together this campaign based on a rather romantic notion of the landscape and physical history of the United Kingdom, and and Ireland in that respect, the Republic of Ireland, and that they simply threw this together, and it was just never checked. No one thought it would. How could Freddo possibly cause any legal problems? But when you look at so for example in Devon, uncover underwater shipwrecks in Devon. Yes. The description here is a 200-year-old shipwreck emerges at low tide in the Northern Boroughs. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It once carried precious cargo. Who knows what else might wash up from the deep? Another one is dig up Viking silver on the River Ribble. The Curedale hoard is one of the largest Viking silver hoards ever to be discovered. With over 8,600 pieces of treasure unearthed, there could have been some that was overlooked. It's encouraging.
And which, if you found any of it, you'd have to declare it under the Treasure Act. No mention of that.
No, not at all. Unearthed fortunes of Rome in Somerset. Over 52,000 gold and silver coins were discovered by a metal detectorist in Frome. So he was from Frome. I always like saying that. In Somerset. So grab your metal detector and go hunting for Roman riches. It was an astonishing launch to this particular campaign, and apparently it was going to be accompanied I've pretty sure I've heard talk of a TV campaign that's going to cost up to £6 million or something like that, and also a website which does it still exist? Does the website still exist? Or?
Just before we started recording, actually, I was trying to find it, and it's not immediately obvious from the Cadbury website, but
okay.
I'm an older person, and this internet tree is obviously I'm less familiar with than younger people who might. Who this is aimed at, but I couldn't find it. But no, there's another point. You talk about the various stories that they headline.
Oh, sorry. I just googled, and all you can see is just people just going, "This is astonishingly stupid. This is daft," and news stories saying that as well.
Right.
Sorry, go on.
I think we can probably assume already Cadbury might be. If certainly having words and possibly even changing their advertising agency.
Oh my goodness! This was going to be, according to an industry magazine, this was going to be the biggest Cadbury's launch of the year. This was going to flipping heck! I'm trying not to swear. Sorry.
This story just gets better and better, and again, fantastic that Ethan turned out, because this is. A small, much derided group of people, the archaeologists and heritage people of Britain, who swallow the dirt time and time again over planning decisions and appalling television programs and so on, where we're presented as fedora-wearing, whipping treasure hunters.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. Yes, sorry. Go on.
and this small group of people, when Dr. Tierney posted it on social media, the Twitter just went incandescent with anger about this.
Yeah.
And within 48 hours, this huge American multinational was forced to pull the entire campaign.
Yeah.
They even had government ministers inviting them in, probably for a meeting. Without coffee and biscuits.
Yeah. No biscuits.
Serving chocolate biscuits. In fact, no, they were probably serving chocolate biscuits from a rival manufacturer.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
It is just a glorious story of corporate ineptitude, but actually all credit to the archaeological community for just spontaneously coming together after the story was flagged up.
Yeah.
And actually forcing this humiliating turnaround. It's one of the best. It's one of the most enjoyable stories I think I've covered since we've been doing Watching Brief.
It's been enjoyable. It's been enjoyable partly because of the, like I say, the scale of it in terms of Muppetry.
Schadenfreude is just wonderful,
and the fact that such an innocent little thing could cause so much trouble, but also it's been really lovely to see, as you say, the communal response in that sense, the community response. The fact that there was, I didn't really see any. Maybe one or two contrary voices, but really it was quite clear this should not have happened like this. And it was nice to see what is often quite a fragmented lobby the archaeological community, speaking with one solid voice. And I just clicked actually into the betterretailing.com website here, and it was talking about how this was going to be the biggest launch of 2019. Phil Warfield, parents to children marketing manager. Ugh, what a horrible. Oh, so it makes you want to be sick, doesn't it? I really can't stand marketing spiel. Anyway, at Mondelez International said
that's the parent company.
Well, there you go. Said this category can be divided into 3 segments. Anytime treats, which have RRPs, recommended retail prices of less than 30p. So that would be, I don't know, your Curly Whirly, I guess, that kind of thing.
I don't know.
Your fudge.
It's 40 years since I had a Curly Whirly.
And they make up 19% of sales. Sharing packs, which make up to 36% of sales, so that would be like a bag of sweets.
M&Ms.
M&Ms, yeah. Or Haribo maybe.
Other sweet treats are available.
You just mentioned M&Ms without any justification. Of the category and are priced between 30 and 70 pence. That's 30 of the sharing packs. And rewards, which have RRPs of above 70p. So presumably, you've done well in your homework or something. Here's a reward, and make up 45% of category sales. So they make up most, but they are rewards. Anyway, with its RRP of 90p, Freddo Treasures taps into the reward segment, which is declining by 12% per year.
How tragic.
This is due to a lack of new products and investment and launches that do not drive additional sales, he says. They just love the way these people talk in such humane ways about the world. It's astonishing that these deeply sensitive individuals didn't think about whether or not they're encouraging looting on historic sites, isn't it?
You know what else they didn't think about? I've been doing some background work on this and watched this space. But it's become clear that on the original website, you click through these images to, for example, the Yorkshire Museum.
Oh, Treasure Island. Sorry. Also, it was called Treasure Island campaign as well, wasn't it?
It was called Treasure Island campaign, and so each of those windows behind it was a local museum, which is wonderful. Except that if certainly my sources so far are correct, they didn't actually talk to any of the museums first about what they were going to be connected with.
Right, I see. So they've dragged these museums into the mud as well with the
absolutely. And I think it's fair to say, and as I say, watch this space, but some of them are quite cross.
I can bet. Fermanagh. There's a couple more here, just worthwhile covering. Mine for Saxon gold in Chelmsford, Essex. Is that how you say it, Chelmsford?
Chelmsford, yep.
Okay. Over 1,500 years ago, an Anglo-Saxon king buried his gold in a field in Chelmsford. Now,
well, actually, the people around the Saxon king buried the gold because he was probably dead at the time. But anyway, that's
now 1,500 years later.
The Prittlewell Prince we're talking about.
Oh, of course. Now, 1,500 years later, the treasure's fair game. like what? What were they thinking?
I know.
Get your hands on gold at
I think a certain Dr. Jones would regard this kind of artifact procurement as probably unethical.
Yeah, even he would, and I never saw him draw a field diagram or anything. Get your hands on gold at, and I'm going to butcher this name, Mooghorn.
Is it Mahorn or something like that? I'm not sure. Apologies to anybody in Ireland who are watching this.
Gold ingots were unearthed 3 feet underground in rock quarry, Mooghorn. The treasures have been valued to be worth 150 million euros.
It's not even literate, is it?
No, it's not. No, it really isn't. Well, that's what I was complaining about with the Saxon one. Is it starts with over 1,500 years ago, and then it says 1,500 years later, and you're like, well, you've already told us that. Wait, anyway. So, valued to be worth 150 million euro, probably worth a quick check. It said for extras, basically, and hunt for precious rings in Fermanagh.
A quick check made out to the Gardaí when they arrest you, I think. Probably.
DJs the Garda will definitely have your collar there. Recently, hunt for precious rings in Fermanagh, recently discovered deep in a bog in County Fermanagh, a priceless jewel laid dormant for 3,000 years. Are you willing to get your hands dirty to discover more?
So basically, they're encouraging sort of 5-year-olds to go out and become, the bog bodies of the next 2,000 years by
Oh, I
falling
see.
into bogs.
When they get trapped in the mud and just
yeah,
are enveloped in.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
The thing is, every which way you turn, this thing is a fail.
Yeah.
It's just glorious.
A cluster fail.
These people are paid a fortune to come up with this stuff.
Yeah.
And as we've heard, Mondelez, it may well have been their biggest launch of the year. They will have spent 7 figures on a campaign to do something like this, in all probability.
Yeah.
And it has just spontaneously combusted. It is wonderful.
Well, and it's fair to say though, it's wonderful from a very particular standpoint, isn't it? Because it's not as though it's not like we're going ha 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 or well, we are, so we are, but
absolutely, like I said,
no, we are. No, but it's more a case of. It's not a case of, oh, look, oh, wonderful, how wonderful those people who aren't archaeologists have failed. Yeah. All they had to do was consult the right people, and they could have done this in the right way.
And actually, to make us, we've been having a huge amount of fun with this, and quite rightly, because it is a glorious story. But I think there is a very serious point in over and above the way that the heritage and archaeology community responded to the story when it was flagged up, and that is, first of all, the constructive way, actually, that it was approached, and the way people are following up by saying, okay, look, we would love to engage kids with archaeology. That wasn't wrong. That wasn't wrong.
Exactly.
You should have talked to people who know what they're doing in this area first, and we'd have helped you.
Yeah.
But now, if you want to make a donation of a large amount of money to the Young Archaeologists Club or something like that, then we will be, we'd be very grateful to and very happy to work with you.
Yeah.
It is the fact that the worrying thing about it is the fact that they so clearly didn't even think there was a problem. They didn't even think they needed to consult.
No, and I think it's part of. Not to overextend this little segment or this analysis, but I think there's another element here, and that's just to say that the reason why it didn't even occur is that it's part of a broader trend and a tendency for people to essentially commodify the past. The past somehow is a separate little thing that is a backdrop for whatever you want to do in the present. And people don't tend to think about legal protections or about, well, I suppose even at a basic level, people's feelings about historical monuments, because often it's treated like that sort of backdrop to a current event or a current theme or a current marketing ploy. It's part of that trend, and I think it's good that it was challenged, and that hopefully. As you say, there are ways of doing this in the right way. Sorry, I'll hand back over to you.
Well, no. I was just going to finish up by saying, really, I think we can pick up that theme about commodifying the past with a brief introduction to our links of the month, actually, which are relevant to this story in a number of respects, and also certainly my media pick draws on this idea that the past is commodified through artifacts. An artifact as a thing, not artifacts as a part of something bigger.
Yeah, well, and also actually, often you'll see, for example, television dramas written by people who haven't really researched the field using the word relic. We're here to recover this relic, as though again, it's a commodity. It's the thing that it's not the context, it's not the story. It is simply the having of the thing that matters, and then the use of that thing as a backdrop for your current activity is also part of that. So lots of issues going on, and it was nice to see this come to the fore, one strong voice, and hopefully, as you say, in the future there may well be a productive campaign that does highlight in the right way the history of the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland. Yeah.